Hello, stock fans. This is James, your favorite ticker picker. I'm here with another video on AppHarvest Inc. Don't say I didn't tell you so. And read the comments on my previous videos. People yelling at me. They were unhappy that I didn't like this company. They only had 60 acres of tomato farms before they even planted a tomato. And they paid $500 million for the farm. They paid, I don't know what that is, almost $10 million an acre. Does that make any sense to anyone? No, didn't make any sense to me. It was going to be the newest hydroponic wonderland with its own lake built into it. It was on 4 properties, and each property had a house. I think the owner of the company just kind of wanted to live in the house, and I think that's probably what was happening here. Too many amenities. He's got himself a 60-acre farm and a house to live in for free, where you could probably just stay there, running toilets and water and hang out and get high and play with his hydroponics all day long. Yeah, 60 acres is enough for a tomato farm. You're competing with people with tens of thousands of acres. You're competing with $1 million machines that can, do the picking and thousands and thousands of laborers. This thing here went from $2 and something cents since our last video. It fell off a cliff. Now it's down to 35 cents. Goodbye. This thing's, it's going all the way to zero in case you haven't figured it out yet. Let's see what the news was here for the cliff. AppHarvest announced the stock price for public offering. That doesn't sound like news. Huh. AppHarvest keeps soaring higher on rising volumes. Look at that. Talk about your bullshit, right? Doesn't that make you mad? Masterdini Produce and Safra Holding closed $127 million sale. They closed a $127 million sale. Didn't mean they got paid for it. I don't know. Does it? Did they do any revenue? That was January of 2023. Let's see if they did any revenue ever. Hey, what's this? No, sorry everyone. That's just $13 million of revenue. Yeah, I don't see any 127 coming in December, as reported through the March earnings season cycle, which would have been coming out in April or May. They never got that 127, FYI. That was a lying article. These people are such scumbags. You know they're scumbags when they put out press releases like this. And they just go on and on and on and on. And people love the green movement, they love the tomato farm, and they love the dream. But if you don't know what a 60-acre farm is, and if you don't know what $500 million is to buy that farm, and then to spend every cent of it on that farm, tomato seeds are free. You slice the tomato open. There's like 1,000 seeds inside of it, and if I'm exaggerating, there's 200. Yeah, you can literally go buy a few bushels of tomatoes at your local whatever store, and it's just seeds galore. They could have lit these farms up, 60 acres with tomatoes. I don't even think they did that. Obviously, they didn't even have a crop or a harvest of any sort. Maybe they did $10 million in tomatoes in the quarter. I have no idea. Probably not. I don't know. It seemed like the 60 acres was half consumed by lakes. So the acreage included the lakes. So of growing land, maybe 30 acres. I'm just guessing. But look at the aerial photos. They'll make you angry. Some of these stocks, you just got to use common sense. You have to do some of the research. You can't go, oh, that seems like a neat idea, and buy the thing. Don't ever do that. And if you got beat up on this one a little bit, chalk it up and learn your lesson. $10 million an acre is not the going price for land in Kentucky. If you're buying it in bulk, like 60 acres, maybe $2 or $3 grand an acre would be reasonable. Not $10 million an acre. And when you're first starting a business on a relatively small farm, you don't need the giganto mega picker, and you don't need 1,000 employees probably. You don't need anything that would cost anywhere close to $500 million. Absolute insanity. They could have bought the farm for, I don't know, 150, 200 grand. They could have built a house for another 200 grand and still had 4.5 million cash left over. Maybe grew some tomatoes and done 20 million a quarter in tomatoes, because that's about all that farm can handle at best. And if they're going to grow them on top of each other with hydroponics and free water and all this other stuff, fine, quadruple it. Grow them as high as your highest ladder. There's no such thing as a 40-foot ladder. Only the fire department has those. But maybe a cherry picker might go up that high. I don't know. Seems like a lot of extra waste and effort and manpower needed and equipment needed to grow it on top of each other. But they didn't even grow level 1. This was a scam from day one. The whole thing was stupid. And I'm sorry if they got you. But go win on something else and get your money back. Go look at something that actually is doing some business and that's improving, and that you can sleep at night and be sure of, not thinking that these people are actually growing tomatoes, because, well, 60 acres isn't many tomatoes. That's like a hillbilly farm in the middle of nowhere. They got more than 60 acres. They're laughing at this place. They're going, $500 million? Honey, we ain't never seen that in 30 years all added up together. And it's true. On their 60-acre farm, they haven't. But these people got to smoke through it in 2 years. Absolutely sick. Anyway, you can short this one down to 0, because that's where it's going. Have a wonderful